Reuters reported today that the Biden administration is inching closer to an agreement to allow Ukraine to use American-made long-range missiles to hit military and critical infrastructure targets deep inside Russia. Meanwhile, a senior Russian diplomat reiterated that the Kremlin is fast-tracking a revision of Russia's policy to use its vast nuclear arsenal. I'm Rick Wiles. This is True News for Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. Let's begin our analysis and commentary of today's headlines by looking closer at this Reuters exclusive article, U.S. close to agreeing on long-range missiles for Ukraine. Delivery to take months. Well, Doc, at least we know that we have months to live.
Maybe.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know I'm upsetting people by telling them the truth.
Yeah.
I've been reading emails lately. People are upset. I shouldn't talk about it. We're telling too much truth.
Yes.
All right?
Yeah, we have been getting them, folks.
Yeah, they don't want to hear this. Folks, you got to deal with reality. We are running. The United States of America and Europe is literally running to Armageddon. That's the truth. I didn't ask for this job. I didn't apply for it. It's what was laid on me from heaven above, and I've been faithful to deliver the message. And I know people don't want to hear it, but hey, this is what I was told to report. We are on a collision course with Armageddon, and no amount of positive thinking is going to change it. That's a fact, okay? So this is what Reuters is reporting. The U.S. is close to an agreement to give Ukraine long-range cruise missiles that could reach deep into Russia. But Kiev would need to wait several months as the U.S. works through technical issues ahead of any shipment, U.S. officials said. Let's see, Doc, this is, we're in now September.
Yes, okay? It's hard to believe.
So that would take us several months. Several is what? More than one.
Right. So say
let's
2 to 3.
2. That would take us to November, December.
Right.
Oh, my. Here we go again.
The holiday season.
The Christmas holiday season. We just talked about it again last week. I know it upsets people, but again, you need to get over it. Okay? We're headed towards an unthinkable scenario where our leaders who are demon-possessed, I'm telling you right now, the Western leaders are driven by demons, and they are driving the United States and Europe to a nuclear war with Russia. Russia's holding back. They're doing everything they can not to go down this road, but the Western leaders are hell-bent on hell. That's all I can say. They're hell-bent on going to hell. And they want to take a lot of people with them. And this is the most frightening, bizarre scenario I think any of us could ever imagine. But this is what the last days look like.
Yes. What did you think? What did you think the last days were going to look like? Oh, I know what a lot of people thought. A secret rapture. Yes.
They'd be out of here. They wouldn't face any of these things. But you're here. The John Nelson Darby, Cyrus Schofield rapture didn't happen, and it ain't going to happen. You're going to be here until Christ comes back, and he's coming back one time. And he comes back because the Father in heaven cuts the days short, because if he doesn't cut the days short, no flesh would survive. That's what I'm trying to present to you here. We're headed towards the day when no flesh survives. So, the Biden administration, according to Reuters, is getting close to giving Zelensky the penis piano-playing comic missiles to hit a nuclear-armed power.
Right.
Doc,
what's the worst that could happen, Rick?
If you wanted to come up with a, really sadistic, bizarre, dystopian thriller movie, you would put a penis piano playing comic in power who challenges a nuclear armed power, and big countries give him the missiles to attack that nuclear armed power. If you wanted to come up with a really crazy movie, that's what you would do.
Yeah, it is dystopian, that's for sure.
This is the most bizarre reality. I was like, is this reality? Are we really in this thing? Yes, we are. We are arming a comic.
Yes.
To attack nuclear-armed Russia. And the joke is going to be on us, and it's going to be a really bad joke. According to Reuters, the inclusion of joint air-to-surface standoff missiles, I guess they're pronounced, is it JASM, is in a weapon package is expected to be announced this autumn, 3 sources said, though a final decision has not been made.
It's been made.
Of course it's been made. The sources declined to be named because they are not authorized to discuss the topic.
But they are authorized to leak the topic.
But they're authorized to leak it. I'm going to leak something else. By the time this becomes reality, Joe Biden will not be in the White House. Kamala Harris will be the president. You want to talk about a really strange movie?
One way or the other.
The movie is going to get really weird by October. Military analysts have suggested the introduction of the JASMs, which are stealthy and can strike further than most other missiles, and could push Russian staging areas and supply depots back by hundreds of miles. Launching them from points near Ukraine's border with Russia could allow them to hit military installations as far away as Russian cities of Voronezh and Bryansk. You're better at Russian than I am. In the south, dropping them near the front lines could enable strikes on airfields or naval facilities in Crimea. Bottom line, the Biden administration, the Pentagon is saying if we give Zelensky permission to use these American JASMs, these joint air-to-surface standoff missiles, Russia will have to abandon their military bases that are closer to the Ukraine border.
Right.
Literally abandon them.
That's the reasoning here.
Yes. Abandon any critical target and pull back deeper in Russia, which then makes it more difficult and costly for Russia to advance on Ukraine. That's the plan here. And according to Reuters, the decision is going to come this autumn. Well, we're just weeks away from fall.
Well, I think the decision's been made. This is the trial balloon to test the response out there with everybody.
Of course it is. They're prepping everybody's minds for a nuclear disaster. And they're gambling with your life, with your children, with your grandchildren. They're gambling with our lives that Putin won't do anything. That's the strategy, that they can just keep going deeper into Russia to the point that they're hitting Moscow and the Russian government collapses. That's the plan. The Russian military establishment will never let that happen.
Of course not.
They have said, if there's no Russia, what's the point in having a world? You all burn down, okay? But you go ahead and you keep electing these freaks. Just keep electing them. Just keep voting for these warmongers, okay? Because they're taking us to Armageddon. Now, Newsweek reporting, NATO chiefs back Ukraine's invasion of Russia. Jens Stoltenberg said NATO stands with Ukraine. Although we're not part of the war. We're not in the war.
Our member nations are providing you the ammunition, missiles, and F-16.
NATO is neutral, according to Jens Stoltenberg. We're not in the war. We're neutral, but we do offer our moral support to Zelensky in Ukraine for invading Russia. We're quite impressed. It's something we've dreamed about. We never thought we'd see it. And it's actually happening in 2024. Now, he didn't say all those words. He just said, we support them. Well, let's see how far this is going. Financial Times, London. Rothschild-owned newspaper, folks. The Financial Times is owned by the Rothschild family. Poland has duty to shoot down Russian missiles over Ukraine, says its prime minister.
Right. Poland and other countries bordering Ukraine have a duty to shoot down incoming Russian missiles before they enter their airspace, despite the opposition of NATO. The